One of the most important things you can do in crypto is do a little TA, technical analysis. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I'm not a professional trader or anything, so I'm not the best at it, but I know the basics and a little more. And the benefit of that is that I can explain it to you like a 10-year-old can understand. And I think that's most important. So how to draw a trend line, how to see important price levels, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to take you into Tradingview to show you how to do that. Welcome to the FOMO Factory. My name is Fomotion. That's not really my name. My name is Menno. That's also not really, that's really my name. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. 677 subscribers so far. Brand new channel. Smash that like button, man. Turn on the bell notification. Here is the most valuable crypto content. So I have my Tradingview right here. You need to have Tradingview. It's just an important tool. It's free. You can use a paid version to get a little more indicators and all, but I used it for years for the free version and it worked perfectly fine until you decide to do more and more research than you might want to use, the paid version, which is not that expensive. But for now, this works. Now, let me open up a new tab right here to show you from scratch how to do it. So I'm going to just do this with Bitcoin. You can do this with every coin, right? So you have Tradingview right here. You can make your watch list. Then you can add a coin with the plus button. You just type in whatever you want. If you want, for example, Bitcoin, you type in Bitcoin USDT. You pick the exchange where you want to track it on. Now, I have Bitcoin right here already. So the first thing you want to understand when it comes to technical analysis is just simple trend lines, resistance, support points. These are the most important in crypto, right? Now, before you draw anything, you just want to take a look at the chart, and that's what's probably the hardest, because if you look at the chart, can you already see what you have to draw, right? That you have to just study charts a lot. So if I look at the chart, for example, it's now on the daily. We mess around with that later, but I can already see like, hey, we got a trend line right here. We got a candle right here, here, and here. If you visualize that there can be a trend line right here, that's a step in the right direction, right? So if we draw it, pretty perfect, right? So that's something that takes a lot of practice, which I still think it's quite hard to do, but it will get easier. I promise you that. So just try it a lot, practice a lot, because these are the most important things you can do. Now, first of all, the time frames. What time frames should you use? If you, for example, you want to take a look at the Bitcoin chart and you don't want to rely on, people on Twitter or on YouTube, but you really want to check it out for yourself. Like, okay, what do I expect Bitcoin can do? Well, it depends on the time frame, of course. If you feel like, oh, I want a really short-term trade, then you can go to the hour chart. You can go to the 15 minutes chart, even if you like. Then this looks kind of brutal, which wasn't that bad. Well, what's kind of bad, but that blah. 50-minute, hour, whatever. If you are more like a midterm trader, or whatever, you take a look at the daily chart, right? Every candle is 1 day. That's how you have to take a look at it. If you are more like an investor and you just want to know like, okay, I want to know what happens in the short term because I maybe want a dollar cost a little in or something like that, then you can take a look at, for example, the 3 days chart or the weekly chart. Weekly chart is usually my favorite chart. I'm going to also show you some indicators that are really handy to use, and a couple of things that I wonder myself that I figured out that I will discuss right here. So let's just start with the daily chart, right? That's, I think, the most popular chart right here. Now, always, like I said, trend lines are most important because trend lines show you where the resistance points are and they show you where the support points are, right? And I'll give you a couple of great tips right here. First of all, how do you have to draw it? Because there are fake outs and there are full bodies, right? Now, for example, this candle right here, it's a green candle. So it means this is where it opened and this is where it closed, right? So this was the move of that day. This means the level it reached that day, but it didn't close there. It went that high, but it came back down. Here it closed. This was the level, the lowest level it reached that day. So in one day, Bitcoin hovered around $21,000 and $23,000, 118. So that's kind of a big range, but it had a good day, right? You'll see that where this closed, that's exactly where this one opened. Now for the red candles go, this is where the candle opened. Here at the top, because it's red, it went down. So it started from the top and it went all the way, it went here. And this was how high it went that day, and this was how low it went that day. Do you have to use the full bodies, so the closing and the opening, or do you have to use the fake outs? You have to use the fake outs. That's mainly the point where it got resistance or where it got rejected. So if you want to draw a trend line right here, you take this trend line. Here, can you see it? No, you can't see it. Wait, let me adjust that for a second. All right, that's better. So you take this line right here. You have trend line, arrow ray. You have all kind of stuff. You just take the trend line and then you check like, okay, cool. So we found out that this was the start, right? So we take the fake out, this fake out, and this fake out, and it's a general rule that the more touches, the more accurate it is. Then we have this trend line here. Okay, so we know that since the 13th of July up till now, this is support for Bitcoin, right? Every time we go here, we bounce. We go up, we go here, we bounce. We go here, we bounce. Now, there is a pretty likely chance when it comes to that, because Bitcoin at the moment of recording is coming down, having a little pullback. Cool. There's a chance that we will go here and we bounce. All right. Now, the thing with trend line is you can never 100% rely on that, right? Because a trend line, at a certain point, a trend line breaks, right? So there's always a chance that we go down and that we break it. And then what? Then what you have to do, right? Because then that trend line is invalid. So what happens then? Well, you always have to check like, okay, is that not a fake out? Because it could happen that Bitcoin does something like this today, and then the next day it goes right back above, it bounces and goes, continues what it's doing. That's possible, right? So wait for the close to check if it's invalid or not, right? But if it breaks down below, they have to check like, okay, what level should we use right now? Well, then a horizontal trend line comes into play very handy. And you can draw a horizontal trend line with this one as well. You just have to check like, okay, how do I draw it? Like this. Okay, cool. No, not like this. I had it, but, but you can also go here at trend lines and you just go with horizontal line. And what you then can do is just move your cursor right here and just again visualize what's a good support level. Well, from what I see, if I have my cursor here, right, let me just draw the line so I can show you. Right, so this is what we got. We got resistance here. We got almost resistance here. We got a little support right here. We got support right here. We got support right here. So this looks like a pretty decent level, and it's never 100% accurate because we can also move it up a little bit, right? Because then this here makes sense, then this here makes more sense, then this here makes more sense. So it's always like, yeah, I don't know. You always have to puzzle a little bit, right? But for now, to make it easy for ourselves, let's go with somewhere around here. That is also where the body closes. Yeah, always puzzle a little around with that. So then we can decide like, okay, if we break this, what's the next resistance support level? Well, that should be somewhere around here, 22.6, around something like that, right? So that's how you use trend lines, and it also goes for resistance and support on the high time frames. Let me pull up a weekly chart right here. So if we go to the weekly chart, this is quite interesting if you ask me, because this is how you decide if Bitcoin is going to get back in a bull run or not, right? So this has a way better overview if you ask me. This is better for long-term investing, of course, as well. This was the top. This was November 2021. Here we were at the top at $69,000. We got rejected here. We also got rejected here, right? So can we make a trend line right there? Yes, we can. So if we draw it like this, we have a pretty decent trend line, right? So, 3 times makes a trend is what they say, right? So touch 1, cool, touch 2, cool, touch 3. Cool. So that's kind of the trend line that we are in right now. So we are approaching, it takes a couple of weeks, but we are approaching this trend line again, right? Because let me draw it a little further here. Yeah, okay. If we take a look at what's happening right now, you know what Bitcoin does. It can go up, can come down, can come sideways, whatever. At a certain point, we will reach this trend line. And this is a strong resistance level for Bitcoin, right? This is where it got rejected on the higher time frame. So this is basically the bear market pushing it down, right? So there is a big chance that if we approach it, that we get pushed down again. But if we break it, then it's a whole different story. So on the weekly time frame, you have a better indication of like, okay, what's going to happen on the higher time frame, and you know, that says something about the bull and the bear market, in my opinion. So just check out these major levels at first, right? And if you have that, then you can check out, like, there are two scenarios, right? Or we break to the upside, or we break to the downside. So what's gonna happen if one of the two happens? Well, let's, for worst case scenario, first check like what happens if we break to the downside, if we get rejected. Right. So Bitcoin doing its thing, la la la, I'm Bitcoin, bam, bam, damn, down. Okay, cool. So what's there to catch the fall, right? On the higher time frame. So if we zoom in a little bit right here, let me check what might happen. So this is a level right here. On the weekly time frame, we don't have a lot, right? I mean, this can be a lot more than we see, because on the day, this could be 14 days of strong support and resistance right here. So we got something right here at 23.4 thousand, right? But that's also where we almost are right now, 23.4. That's here. Does it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. We got rejected there. We got support here. So we can draw a line right here. But you want to have multiple lines in case we break this level, right? So we're going to draw some more. So around here. Then what might happen if we break that? Well, if we break that, then I see that we had a fake out over here that held support, and we had some resistance there. So that's also a line, right? You just have to put your mouse over it, check like, okay, where are these lines coming together? And then if we break that, then this, look, we had some major support, well, and back in the day, resistance around this level, and we had some major support here. So this looks like a way bigger level because we had way much right here, right? So that's around 19.2. And then if we break that, then we will be sitting at our previous, you know, support, the bottom, you could say, but it's not time yet to talk about that. So that's how you draw that. Now then, if we break to the upside, what might happen? So let me remove these lines. If we break to the upside, and you know, it depends on when it happens, because if it happens today, we have to break through $28,000, right? But if it happens in around, well, 3 weeks from now, we have to break 24.5. Right, so kind of depends. But let's take a look at the bigger picture. Check for yourself. What's a clear support right here? Is this a clear support? I don't think so. Is this a clear support? Yeah, it's getting to clear support right here, right? Or resistance in that case, because we have something going on right here, here, and here. So we can draw a line right there. So if we go here, around, you know, around there, then that's a first, you know, big resistance level, and that's around 26.5. That's what people have been talking on Twitter about a lot as well. But then if we break that, I see a big resistance at this level, 29.5, something like that, right? Because let me first draw the line and show you. We have multiple weeks support right here. We have multiple months support right here, and we have support right here. Once we finally broke it, we went down very badly. So that's probably a super strong resistance level, and I don't think it's a easy level to break. So let's say around 30k. If we break that, yeah, then it's definitely back bull mode, right? Because then, you know, we have the next support level sitting at, or resistance level. Yeah, well, that's, you know, I can make now price predictions, but it's about how to draw it. So that's how you kind of draw it. Then a couple of tools you can use right here, because we draw trend lines, right? But we can also use this right here. This is the parallel channel. And at first you draw it as a normal trend line. So you just take it like we did in the beginning, from here to here, right? Then you click your mouse, but then you can move it. And if we then look at what are levels that we are looking at as resistance, something around this, right? We have a touch right here. We have touch right here. We have touch right here. We had two fake outs, but okay, that's it. Now you can see the channel that Bitcoin is moving in. All right, so this is basically the level this was the low, this is the high, and we constantly hovering around in this level. So we can draw it even further. So if we draw it further, you can see that if we, for example, stay in this range for the coming month, then the low for Bitcoin should be at 27,500 and the high for Bitcoin should be at around 31,000. That's if Bitcoin doesn't break to the upside or Bitcoin doesn't break to the downside. But for now, this is basically what it's doing, right? So it could be very doable that we go to 23.4, 23 point, slightly lower, 2, 3. But it's also possible that we go here. But then again, we have to keep a consideration the horizontal lines that we just draw as well. But this is the level that we are hovering right now. This is a very useful tool. Then you also have the measure tool right here, which is just very handy if you want to measure something like, okay, but what if we go from the level that we are right now? Let's say we go to the top. That's a 13% move. So these measure tools are also very useful. Then we have the Fibonacci tool. That's slightly, you know, something else than what we are doing right now, because I'm really showing you the basics. But you can find it right here, Fib retracement. And basically you can take the, you know, it kind of depends on the time frame, but you can take the local bottom right here. You also have to take the fake outs and the top right here. So if you are bearish, you take it from the bottom to the top, and you can see like, okay, what are the Fib levels that we should watch? So this one is the first, this one is the second, this one is also an important level, and it kind of lines up, right? It kind of lines up. If we take this level right here, you see, oh, we had some nice resistance right here, we had some resistance right here. If we take this level right here, we had some resistance right here, we had some support right here, we have support right here. So it's pretty damn accurate if you ask me. We can also take it from the top to the bottom, and if we do that, you also can see on the higher time frame what we can expect, right? So this is what you have to check out, and this lines up pretty perfectly because if you draw a trend line, we don't really need to draw a trend line, but still, if we draw a trend line where this Fib is coming out, you see that we have major support right here. So if we ever, you know, go into bull mode again and we need some support, then $37,500. That's not for now, but you can see that's clear support, and it lines up with the Fibonacci retracement tool as well. Then a couple of indicators that I really like to use. Number one, the volume. You want to check out the volume because volume is very important when it comes to crypto, right? If we go to indicators, you have the 200-week moving average heat map, which is also a very good indicator. And if we put it on the weekly, we can see it a lot better. Mine is a little, I don't have the best one for now, so let me go to the settings and let me turn off the arrows because that's making it really unclear if you ask me. So here we go. This is the 200 weekly moving average. This is what everybody is talking about, right? A very important indicator. We must hold that line. Well, we broke below it a couple of times. We went below it and we stayed below it for a long time, but now we are, you know, back above it. So whatever happens to the trend lines we all just draw, it's very important that we have this as support now as well. And for now, it's sitting at $23,000, something like that. And as Bitcoin is going higher, the 200 weekly moving average is going higher as well. So this is something you should look out for. Then two other indicators that I really love is one, the RSI, and two, the stochastic RSI. So if we pull these up, this is the RSI and this is the stochastic RSI, right? And this is just a measure for sentiment, basically. So whenever the RSI or the stochastic RSI is low, you buy, and when it's high, you sell. That's basically what you do. Now, especially with the stochastic RSI, so let me remove the RSI for a second, and let me pull up the stochastic RSI on the weekly. This is a really good indicator for when you should buy or when you should sell, basically, because every time the stochastic RSI is in this area right here, it indicates that it's a good moment to buy something, right? Because if we take a look at where the price of Bitcoin was, we were here, right? But when it was in the oversold area, we were here, and it doesn't look like a lot, but if you really take it from the bottom to the top, that's a 47% move, and it could be way bigger than that, of course, because here we were really oversold as well, and here it was overbought, right? So if we take that move, we have a move of, what was it? Here we go, 134%. So it also depends on different time frames. You can also put it up on the monthly. Well, if we take a look at that, then, you know, short term can, whatever could happen, but on the monthly, it's a pretty damn good, you know, place to buy right now, if you ask me. Now, when it comes to the normal RSI, you can also draw trend lines on that. And that indicates when the RSI is flipping bullish or bearish again. So in this case, let's take a look at the RSI. Let me make it a little bigger so we have a clearer view. So this is the point where the bear market really started, right from where we came down, at least. Some people say the bear market really started here, and this was already a relief rally. Whatever. Let's take it from here. So if we draw a trend line from the top RSI to here, you see it touches right here, but if we draw it further, it touches here as well. And you really want to be precise if you want to come with a conclusion. But in this case, it looks like, and it really depends on how you draw it, right? Because if you draw it like this, you would say, okay, RSI is getting rejected here. But if you really draw it like this, where it actually touches, RSI is already, you know, breaking out. So you want to wait a little bit to see what happens actually. But this is how you draw the RSI trend line. And this is a really good indicator that shows you that, oh, the RSI is flipping bullish again right now. What the hell? Okay, maybe it's a good time to buy, actually, right? So that means that it can go up again. That's kind of it for now. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what kind of chart you have to take a look at to come to the conclusion if the crypto market is going bullish or bearish again, because there are a lot of important charts next to the just Bitcoin chart, right? So stay tuned for that. I would say thanks for watching. Welcome to the FOMO Factory. I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. It's brand new. Let's go to 1,000 subscribers. Leave your opinion about something. Like the video. Turn on the bell notifications. Sorry for giving you so much to do, but you would help yourself a lot with it. Now, stay safe in this still probably bear market, and we are all gonna make it. Bye.